Hey there, I'm Frank Mitchell. On this channel, it's all about helping you understand your car and keeping it running the way it should. Whether it's routine maintenance or solving those tricky problems, I've got you covered. If you find this useful, give the video a like, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to watch till the end. You might learn something that saves you time and money. All right, let's get started.
The MG4 Electric and the Volkswagen ID.3 are two 100% electric cars that compete directly in terms of size, performance, and range, just like the Cooper Born. Comparison between the Born and the MG4 Electric. MG, a British brand, has returned to the European market thanks to the Chinese giant SAIC, which has given it a completely new approach. With electrification and very competitive prices as key factors for the firm's relaunch. The MG4 is the spearhead of the brand's 100% electric mobility offer as it debuts the MSP EV modular platform developed exclusively for electric models and has a very attractive starting price. In fact, the MG4 is more affordable than any of its direct rivals. It offers 170 or 204 horsepower versions and a range of between 350 and 450 kilometers, and has been chosen as CarWow's Car of the Year 2023. In the Best Economic Electric category, MG4 Electric Volkswagen ID.3. The ID.3 was the first Volkswagen model developed from scratch as an electric car and the first to use the MEB modular platform that, designed exclusively for making electric cars, is used by many other models of the group such as the Cooper Born, Skoda Enyaq or Audi Q4 e-tron. At the time of its launch, Volkswagen offered a very wide range with various levels of power, battery capacity, and equipment. Currently, the offer has been significantly reduced, being available with a single 204 horsepower engine that homologates, depending on the battery, between 426 and 545 kilometers of autonomy. In this electric car comparison, we are going to analyze the differences between the MG4 Electric versus Volkswagen ID.3, exterior dimensions, trunk capacity, fuel consumption, price, and other variables will help us answer the following question: MG4 or Volkswagen ID.3, which one to buy? Exterior dimensions. The MG4 is longer and wider with 3 cm in each dimension, while the Volkswagen ID.3 is 7 cm taller. The most important difference, a priori, is the wheelbase with 6 cm more for the ID.3. However, as we will see later, this does not translate into more interior space. In terms of weight, the MG4 is in any of its versions a lighter model, something that, however, it will not take advantage of when it comes to reducing consumption. In terms of maneuverability, the ID.3 has a better turning radius, as it only needs 10.2 meters to make a U-turn, 40 centimeters less than the MG4, an important fact if we take into account the urban nature of these vehicles. Measurements: MG4 Electric ID.3 length 4.29 meters, 4.26 meters, height 1.50 meters, 1.57 meters, width 1.84 meters, 1.81 meters, distance between axles 2.71 meters, 2.77 meters, weight 1,730 kilograms, 1,760 kilograms, 1805 kilograms, 1934 kilograms, minimum trunk 363 liters, 385 liters maximum trunk 1,177 liters, 1267 liters. MG4 Electric Volkswagen ID.3 interior dimensions and habitability. The exterior dimensions of the MG4 Electric and the Volkswagen ID.3 are very similar, so there are no major differences in terms of interior space. The front seats are virtually identical. In the second row of seats, the Volkswagen ID.3 does not take advantage of its longer wheelbase, offering the same legroom as the MG4. In height, the available space is also identical, the difference being in the width, with 4 centimeters more for the MG4. In any case, both models are more suitable for 2 passengers than for 3. In both models, the floor is flat or almost flat. There is no central tunnel, which allows better accommodate the passenger in the central seat, which, in any case, will not be too comfortable due to lack of width, something normal in vehicles of this size. Both the ID.3 and the MG4 have a number of good-sized and sufficient storage spaces for different objects. What none of them have are air vents for the rear seats. Trunk. The MG4 with the 51 kilowatt-hour battery capacity has a 363-liter trunk, a figure that is reduced to 350 liters in the 64 kilowatt-hour battery version. With the second row of seats folded down, the load capacity increases to 1,177 liters. It has a double bottom to store the charging cables. The trunk of the Volkswagen ID.3 covers 385 liters in all versions, a figure that can increase to 1,267 liters with the seats folded. The central seat has a hatch that allows transporting long objects without folding the seats. Under the trunk floor there is an additional hole that serves to leave the cargo cables and puncture kit. In addition, VW offers, depending on the level of equipment, a partition plate that can be placed at 2 heights. In terms of dimensions, the trunk of the VW ID.3 is deeper, wider, and higher. In terms of shapes, both models offer a diaphanous space without nooks and crannies that facilitates the placement of luggage. Trunk MG4 Electric Trunk Volkswagen ID.3 Engine and Performance. The MG4 Electric is available with an Access version that offers 170 horsepower, 250 Nm of torque and mounts a 51 kWh battery capacity. It accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in 7.7 seconds. Above would be the version of 204 horsepower, 250 Nm of torque and 64 kWh capacity battery that, curiously, gets a worse acceleration data. 7.9 seconds to complete the 0 to 100 km/h. MG will expand the range in the future with the arrival of more powerful versions, with all-wheel drive and a larger battery. Although at the time of its launch the range of versions was very varied, currently the Volkswagen ID.3 is only offered with a 204 horsepower engine that can be associated with a 58 kWh battery or a 77 kWh battery. In the first case, it accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in 7.9 seconds. In the second case, the time is reduced to 7.3 seconds. Both versions are rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive versions are not expected to arrive for the time being. Volkswagen ID.3 engine range 150 kilowatts, 204 horsepower, 58 kilowatt-hours, 0 label 150 kilowatts, 204 horsepower, 77 kilowatt-hours, 0 label MG4 Electric Volkswagen ID.3 consumption. The MG4 Electric with 51 kilowatt-hour battery has an average fuel consumption of 17 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers, giving it a range of 350 kilometers. The 77 kilowatt-hour battery version has an average fuel consumption of 16.6 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers for a range of 450 kilometers. In both cases, the maximum charging power is 6.6 kilowatts in alternating current and 117 kilowatts in direct current. The Volkswagen ID.3 is, despite being a heavier car, more efficient, as it homologates 15.3 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers in the version with 55 kilowatt-hour battery and 15 tanked, 7 kilowatt-hours/100 km in the variant with 77 kilowatt-hour battery capacity. The homologated range is 426 and 545 kilometers respectively. Maximum charging power in alternating current is 11 kilowatts. In direct current, the power varies depending on the battery. The 58 kilowatt-hour battery can charge up to 100 kilowatts, while the 77 kilowatt-hour battery can charge up to 125 kilowatts. Equipment. The MG4 Electric includes a fairly complete standard equipment from its most basic version with elements such as headlights with LED technology for all functions, keyless entry and start, climate control, rear parking sensors, and adaptive cruise control. In terms of digitalization, it has a 7-inch screen for the instrument panel and another 10.25-inch screen for the multimedia system. That is compatible with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The only thing we miss are alloy wheels, as the standard 16-inch steel ones are fitted as standard. The MG4 offers 3 equipment lines: Standard, Comfort, and Luxury. Interior: MG4 Electric. Interior: Volkswagen ID.3. The Volkswagen ID.3 Access has all of the above and also adds an ambient lighting system for the interior and alloy wheels 18 inches. In terms of displays, it offers a very similar setup, with a 5.3-inch instrument cluster and a multimedia system with a 10-inch screen, integrated navigation, and wireless connectivity with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The ID.3 offers 4 trims: Entry, Business, Style, and Tour. As we can see, both models are well equipped from their most basic versions. The big difference is that the Volkswagen ID.3 offers some systems or technologies that are not available in the MG4, such as headlights with matrix technology or a head-up display with augmented reality. As we have seen throughout this electric car comparison, the MG4 and the Volkswagen ID.3 are 2 very similar models in terms of dimensions and performance. However, the price difference is huge. The Volkswagen ID.3 is much more expensive, and the only palpable advantages are the equipment possibilities, the larger trunk capacity, which is not much either, and the efficiency, with better range figures. However, these advantages do not justify the large price difference, so our choice would be the MG4 Electric. In conclusion, both the MG4 Electric and the Volkswagen ID.3 offer compelling features and performance for those considering an electric vehicle. The MG4 stands out with its impressive range and affordability, making it an attractive option for budget-conscious buyers. On the other hand, the ID.3 excels in technology and brand reputation, appealing to those who prioritize innovation and reliability. Ultimately, the choice between these 2 models will depend on individual preferences and priorities. Whichever you choose, both vehicles represent a significant step towards a more sustainable future in transportation. Thank you for watching, and we hope this comparison has helped you in your decision-making process.